morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is 9:01 a.m. and you're listening to and watching Good Morning, Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. It's Wednesday, and we have a very important discussion with a returning guest today. Our guest today is Steve McHugh of BeSmart for Kids. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Curtis?
I'm doing good.
Thanks
good to
for
see you
having me
again.
on again.
Absolutely.
Always a pleasure.
I think since the first time we started talking, about this, and then the subsequent work that's been going on with Project Safe Aurora, the Kane County Health Department, and then leading up to Moms Demand Action. I think that the all these interviews and all this subject matter has been very beneficial to the community.
Great.
And the work that you guys are doing just continues to bear fruit. So amazing
Terrific.
stuff. Yep. We got a lot to talk about today, including the results of a survey that was conducted. We'll talk about some of those details, and then we'll also end and let the folks know about an event that's coming up Friday.
Excellent.
As well. All right. So before we get into all the nitty gritty, how have you been? How's the work been? And how is the community reaction to the work that you and the team have been doing?
Thanks for asking. It's been great. Okay. We're trying to get out there, like the survey that we're talking about, getting this information out there and you never know who can really take action on it.
Right,
the least likely people are
doing
things
absolutely.
With it, right? I'm sure you find that in the work that you do.
Yeah, and those questions come from people that you didn't expect.
Exactly.
Right.
Like,
wow, how can I get a lock? Wow, didn't know you were watching, but here's the link.
Exactly right. So, to your question of how it's received, we go to places, obviously if we're talking about things like secure storage and so on, you want to go to gun owners.
Right.
And so where are you going to find them? We go to places like the Kane County gun show,
right,
which is on one Sunday a month in St. Charles at the fairgrounds.
Correct.
And it's received very well. People want to be responsible gun owners.
Oh yeah.
And certainly you will get some of, hey, I don't want to lock it up. I need to get to it quickly and so on, which we can talk about. There are solutions for to
right.
Biometric safes and so on where you can get into it quickly. But for the most part, people really want to be responsible and safe.
Yeah.
And we're hearing that more and more. Really a big theme that we're seeing is partnering with places like gun shops.
Okay.
And schools and so on, of how can we get this message out there. And, gun shop owners, for example, we just presented with them in Geneva, and they're like, we don't want to sell guns that are, going to be used either in a crime or in an accident or in a suicide.
Right, yeah. Now, that you brought up something that I do recall. In all of our talks, you've always mentioned that element of those people who and that's the answer, I don't want to lock it up. I want to have it quick if I need it. It seems like, and I don't mean to put words in your mouth of the conversation, but it seems like you hear that less and less now. And you guys have ways, you guys have an effective rebuttal for that too, that lets the person know that, okay, I hear you, but that's not the smartest thing, and here's why.
I think that's right. What are the factors, what is the persuasive, information? And it's going to be different for everybody.
Right.
We always approached it for the longest time on safety. It's
right.
like, you have kids in the house or whatever, you want to lock it up, you don't want to have this accident. But, especially in vehicles and so on.
Yes.
There's also the chance of having it stolen.
Yes.
And that's happening a lot.
Right.
It's like, what is it? I think the latest numbers I saw, 200,000 guns per year are stolen from guns. And that's just those that are reported.
Right. Yeah.
So it's probably way more than that.
Oh, yeah.
And most of those are from vehicles. So it's like, if you're a gun owner, you always look at it from the standpoint of the gun owner themselves.
Right.
It's like, that's a big cost.
Oh, yes.
It's a big hassle
to
have your gun stolen. So take the whole safety thing aside from that.
Right.
Just the whole ordeal of having, your firearm stolen.
Right. So to the survey that was presented, I do want to share just a couple of the quick insights and data that was
Yep.
found out from the survey that we'll talk about those. So 1 in 6 Illinois households has at least one unsecured firearm in their home or vehicle. Households with children or teens are no more likely to secure all their firearms than those without. That one right there was the one that made me
finding.
That made me kept saying that over and over, like, wow, that is very unsafe.
Yeah, that was a huge unexpected finding.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. Excuse me. The most common method of storing firearms in vehicles is unsecured in the glove box or under the seat.
Yeah.
And then safes are much more preferred over cable or trigger locks. And only about a third of parents ask about firearm storage in homes their children or teens visit. Now, you guys will remember that we had Moms Demand Action on, and they presented great information about those conversations between parents, asking those tough questions before a play date or what have you. So when finding this information out, how did that change what BeSmart is doing? How does that fuel information and plans for this year and next year?
Right. So things within those findings, we dug further into those this year.
Yeah.
And like one of the last things, pieces of data that you mentioned is asking about guns in other homes.
Right.
So, that data, 1 in 3 ask about, so I think it was 37% overall ask about firearms in homes that their children visit.
Right.
So that was from 2023. The very recent 2025 findings that was just conducted in October shows that it's now 44%. So it's going in the right direction.
Right. Yeah.
The biggest finding was that among gun owners with children, 61% of them ask about guns in other homes. Those without firearms in their household, only 22% ask about guns in other homes. So what that tells me is that gun owners are just more comfortable and confident having that conversation.
Right.
So that, to your question of how does that change what we do, I want to have conversations with non-gun owners.
Right, absolutely.
To have that conversation because, I'll be at a table, demonstrating gun safes or giving out free cable locks and so on. Thank you, Kane County Health Department.
Oh, yeah,
and
shout out.
Sheriff's Department and everybody who provides these free safes and so on. But, a person walking by who's a non-gun owner, it's, oh, you guys are talking about guns. I don't have a gun. I don't need to talk to you and stuff like that. Yeah. No, we need to pull them in to have that conversation.
So that 22% now that don't own firearms and they don't ask, we won't delve into their reason for not owning a firearm. But again, let's peel that onion a little bit more. They're not asking because they don't think that, are they seeing or do they feel like people are less likely to own a gun that their kids are hanging out with, or they're just not prepared to have that conversation because they don't, they've shut off firearms, right? And that kind of lifestyle or protection from their thought process. Like, what is the reason why they're not asking? Was that kind of ascertained?
Not really, and I'm speculating here, but I think it comes down to the latter of what you were talking about, is that they're either not thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't own guns. I'm sure my friends, don't either. Or if they do, they lock them up or whatever.
Right.
And just being, uncomfortable having that conversation.
Right.
It's like, Carol and Rebecca were here last time doing a role play on how to have that conversation.
Yes,
and we just want to normalize that as much as possible, just like you're asking about, I don't know, you're going on to the museum, do you need my son's car seat or something like that, so that, or do you have a dog? My daughter's afraid of large dogs or whatever. So just saying it out. And I think this is really positive information to say gun owners aren't afraid to have that conversation.
Right.
So why should you be? It's
Right.
like, hey, just wanted to check, do you have firearms in your home, and if so, how do you store them?
Yeah, I have a friend, and I'm not going to put all her business out there, but she had a family member pass. This is a couple years ago, but she had a family member pass away, and the family member left her, left her a rifle.
Yeah.
And she didn't know what to, she's like, I don't want this thing. I never shot it, She was like, can I sell it? Go on Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah.
I was like, no, absolutely not. You can't sell it on Facebook Marketplace.
No.
I suggested that she turn it over to her local police department.
Yes.
But the people and again, I think this is important to understand, Chris, for those people who don't like firearms, who don't see a need for them, the basic rules of safety that we're talking about still apply and still can help them or the kid next door across the street.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing, same kind of mentality.
Absolutely. And it's great. Yeah. Just direct them to the, law enforcement.
Yeah.
There's many times buybacks.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They'll give you money for your firearm.
That's right.
And ask them, what are you going to do with that?
Right.
A lot of times they're just destroyed or
right.
whatever. But you mentioned the rifle. We found in our data, rifles are the least likely to be locked up.
Really?
And again, that makes sense. But it costs a little bit more to have a rifle safe than a pistol safe or whatever. But,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple more pieces of information here. The time is 9:12. If you're just joining us, we're here with Steve McHugh of BeSmart for Kids, and we're talking about the findings of a very important gun safety survey. So, some actions taken from the survey. Grants used to provide free biometric safes, 800 free safes provided by the Kane County Health Department, and greater messaging emphasis on secure storage in vehicles to prevent theft, focusing on the cost and hassle and community danger of having firearms stolen, and used to inform planned federal and state secure storage policies. Those federal and state secure storage policies, how are those being helped or shaped by the findings of the survey? 9:13 is the time.
Right. So they're different in every state. There is no federal secure storage law right now. So it differs. It differs by state.
Okay.
So in Illinois, what goes into effect on January 1st of next year is and I would encourage just Googling, looking up, and getting familiar with the law. But basically, it's you need to secure all of your firearms in homes that have anyone under age 18.
Right.
And it also is wording of anybody who's at risk, regardless of age, risk of suicide or harm to themselves or others.
Right.
Which I think is a little bit, sometimes tricky to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Shades of gray right there.
Shades of gray. And you need to now lock it in a case or a safe. So just a cable lock itself isn't good enough. It needs to be in there. So what was interesting is within the survey, we asked if you're familiar, how familiar are you with the law within Illinois? And it was like a little under 50%, 48% said they were very familiar.
Right.
Of those very familiar, 84% are locking up all their guns.
Good stuff.
Compared to 66% in general.
Right.
So we found that familiarity with the laws was the number one most persuasive factor in locking up all of your guns.
Good stuff. See?
So we got to get we have to make people more familiar with it. We need to do that. And also, really what's important is just the partnering with everybody else who can get that message out.
Right.
Gun shops, schools, health departments, pediatricians.
Right.
Those are the people who are the conduit to getting that information out.
When it comes to, we're going to talk about some of the new insights and areas of exploration next, but just picking up on that a little bit more about that education part. what are the websites? I have a couple of, I mean, they're dated, but I have a couple of pamphlets that used to be given out.
Oh, yeah.
And how to secure your gun if you're traveling across state lines. And it went through great detail from the Illinois, I can't think of the department, but how can people find that information online? What are the websites that they go to these days?
Oh, good question.
Okay.
And, I think just Googling it.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. Illinois.
Just putting in that, it will
Right.
take you, to the sites themselves. Our website, BeSmartForKids.org, will give you a lot of information. You can
Right.
find, like I was talking about, the secure storage laws are right on there for every state.
Right.
So, yeah, the information is easy to find. The
Okay.
specific websites themselves that you go to, I don't know exactly what those websites are, but again, just Googling will take you there.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll look to put that in the description because
Yeah.
that's good information. It'll tell
It
you
is.
where in your vehicle to place your firearm if you're traveling, how
Yeah.
to ammunition as opposed to the weapon. So yeah,
Right.
Another thing I don't think I asked you, but it's coming to my mind the last couple of minutes. How does Illinois rank as a state when it comes to gun storage with all the other states? Is that something that you guys have found out or looked into in the work?
Gun storage itself, I don't know. What we're trying to do right now, the reason that I did this research within Illinois is I started doing it when I became the co-lead for BeSmart in 2023.
Right.
And just wanted, I mean, my background is market research.
Oh,
I
yeah,
worked
yeah,
in there
yeah.
for 40 years, and I wanted to have metrics.
Right.
So, how do you know if you're making any progress?
Come on,
if you
come
don't
on.
have
That's
data,
right.
So we want to do some of this work in other states, and we're trying to get funding for that. Okay, let's go to a state that doesn't have the secure storage laws,
Yeah.
and see how things compare.
Right.
And that would motivate them to have some secure storage laws. So I'm not sure exactly where we rank specifically in secure storage, but in terms of overall gun violence prevention laws, Illinois is ranked 6th within the U.S.
That's great.
Yeah, some states that are higher than Illinois include Connecticut, Massachusetts, California,
Right.
and Hawaii, I believe.
I saw the reason why I asked that question. I saw an interesting news item about a couple of weeks ago. It said that Chicago has only had 39 murders this year.
I have seen something similar that, in terms of gun violence,
Yep.
have made great progress.
Great progress, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
and a lot are. I mean, you work with Project Safe Aurora,
Oh, yeah. Yep.
as I do, and a lot of it is a lot of what that group is doing with just interventions and working with youth.
Right.
And
Right.
There's not one magic
No.
way to prevent all of this, but doing all of these things together, whether it be secure storage
Yeah.
or having activities for use. I know, there's a boxing
Right. Yeah.
program,
Yep.
and all of those things together
Right.
are what helps make the progress that we're seeing.
Yeah. So folks shouldn't let don't let the negativity in the headlines, don't extrapolate a chaotic situation out of that. Go where the data is, and the data like violent crime has been falling for decades, and that's a great thing. It's a combination of all these efforts.
Absolutely.
9:19 is the time. So now we'll talk about the new insights and areas of exploration. So changes in key metrics from 2023, source and impact of differing secure storage messages, profile of those who do not secure all firearms for better message targeting, storage behavior by number and type, pistol, rifle, or firearms. That's something that we talked about already when you mentioned that rifles are the least likely to be secured.
Correct.
Right?
So if you own handguns only, something like 80-something% are locking up all of their guns.
Right, right.
If you own rifles only, 51% are locking
Right.
all of them up.
Yeah.
So, and then, when you look at other data, rifles or long guns are what is used most in, mass shootings or school shootings or whatever.
Right.
Least likely to be locked up.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
And they are mainly taken from, like if it's a teen shooter or whatever, they mainly get their gun from home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the level of familiarity with Illinois secure storage laws and legislation, we talked about that. And then biometric safe price perceptions. This is something that we're really going to make some good ground here, because we talked about this, not the Moms Demand Action episode, the one before that.
Yes.
And again, making these safes more accessible, lower cost. Let's talk about that. The perception of the price.
Right. So, a biometric pistol safe.
Yeah.
Is, usually you can fit, depending on what type of pistol you have, you can usually fit 2 of those in there. Very easy to open with your fingerprint. Opens within a second. You can also use a combination to get into it. The nice part is you can program, at least the one I have, you can program 20 different people's fingerprint into it.
Okay,
and
yep.
obviously anybody who's not programmed in cannot get into it.
Right.
But to me, it's the solution of, what we're hearing of, I need to get to my gun quickly.
Right.
It's like, okay, you can get to it within 1 second here.
Yeah.
So, when I'm showing it at places like gun shows or other places, I ask, they're like, this is great. And I'm like, how much do you think this costs? And almost always people say, a few $100, $200-$300.
Yeah. The first time I saw it, I thought 8. I was like, that bad boy looks expensive.
Exactly. So I wanted to have quantitative data.
Sure.
So I put that question in the survey, and what was it? Over 85% of those asked, and it was gun owners, said that it was like $200 or more.
Wow. Yeah.
The one that I have, and ones that you can get very readily on Amazon or other places, are $50.
Wow.
Or less.
That's amazing.
Rifle safes, okay? These are big. I can't
Oh,
carry them
yeah.
with me. I can't go to places and demonstrate, this thing. They're large. And, I will caveat it by saying you can spend thousands of dollars for one, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
There is one that I show people, or several, that are $100.
Wow.
$150.
That's amazing.
So if you can afford a rifle,
yes.
you can afford
That's right.
a $100 safe.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. You can definitely afford to. You can afford the weapon. You can definitely afford to keep it safe. That is true.
Right.
Yep. 9:24 is the time. So let's talk about, with the last little bit of time we got. Tell us about the event on Friday.
The event on Friday is it's a situation where the Kane County Sheriff's Department, 2 officers from there, are going to be in one room with children aged kindergarten to high school, teaching them about gun safety. So what do you do if you find a gun?
Right.
BeSmart, myself and Rebecca, are going to be in another room talking with the parents.
Right.
Basically saying, how do you prevent your child from finding a gun in the first place?
Right.
And that gets into, again, if you're a gun owner, how do you store it? Here's, different solutions to your storage questions or whatever.
Right.
But then also importantly, we really want to make a big deal of non-gun owners come to this too.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
To that point of asking about guns in other homes, where you just read the data. 1 in 6
That's right.
households have an unsecured gun in it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's going to be this Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Church at 101 South 2nd Street in Geneva.
Wonderful, wonderful, great stuff. Okay, 9:25 is the time. So I got something for you.
Wow.
And I got something for you. So this is something that's only happened a couple times on the show. People have typically given myself or us things on the program, but today I wanted to give my man Steve
Look at this.
his own GMA shirt.
Oh, man, I'm honored.
So, Steve, this is a large now.
Perfect size.
Yep, Steve,
Love it.
this is for you, sir.
Love it.
This
Thank
is for
you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
Because the gray BeSmart shirt, I rock that shirt a lot.
Excellent.
I go all over the place with that shirt. I like wearing it in the summertime.
Yep.
It's really nice, really cool, feels good. So I wanted to reciprocate.
This is terrific.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And you know, and this show is a big supporter of all the collective work that we're all doing when it comes to this. You know, safety is key and paramount. We can have a safe, secure world as long as we start let's start in our homes first with what we got going on and stop as many tragedies as we can. 9:26 is the time. Did we forget anything?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
I think we covered a lot, and you always do such a great job
Thank you.
of
Thank
managing the show.
I appreciate it. So, couple of things before we get out of here. You and I will be in discussion and contact so we can, bring this information to the people in 2026 for different events and anything. How can people go to the event this Friday if they're interested? Is there a link or registration or anything?
It's open to the public.
Okay.
So just show up.
Okay.
Again, it starts at 7 o'clock. Gun owners and non-gun owners, everybody's invited.
Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you guys enjoyed the show this morning. So, real quick, Good Morning Aurora will be in the field tomorrow. We will be live with the Neighbor Project checking out a brand new building at 34. So, I don't know the address, but View Street and Galena. We're going to be there live showing you some interesting safety things going on between the Neighbor Project and the city of Aurora, working with all kinds of interesting tools and stuff. So Good Morning Aurora will be not in the studio tomorrow. We will be out there in the field showing you what's happening. But Buenos Dias Aurora will be here tomorrow with another great interview for you guys. I hope that you have a fantastic day today and a great rest of the week. Take care of yourself and each other.